Sorry. I wanted to make a video of the books that I had gotten semi-recently. I kind of forgot about making the video stuff. There were two books I got at Barnes & Noble, so I'm not going to show because they're kind of political and I want to avoid political stuff right now. So I went to Norfolk, Virginia, where my parents live, and I went to it was Free Comic Book Day, and I went and got some books at a comic store, including, so this one is called Overgeared. Yu Woon-sin is a deadbeat in real life, working odd jobs to barely pay off his loans. Even his family has written him off as a hopeless video game addict. But when he logs into the massively popular VR game Satisfy, young Wu becomes Grid the Warrior. He was also painfully Metacritic. I can't say that word right. Everything changes when he stumbles across a tome containing the lost knowledge of a legendary blacksmith. The catch is, using it resets all his levels. In order to survive after being forced back to square one, Grid will need to hone his skills and gather reliable allies, or not. Who needs all that when you're decked out in god-tier items? So yeah, this was 50% off. It looks like it's all colored, so that's cool. I haven't gotten to this one. What I did get to was this other manga, The World's Fastest Level Up. The real world gets an RPG makeover in this, where is my tea? The real world gets an RPG makeover in this adaptation of the popular light novel series. Okay, so it used to be a light novel series. I really do not know where I put my tea. Okay. Years have passed since dungeons popped up all around the world. When dedicated adventurer Amen Rin awakens to a unique skill called dungeon teleportation, he finds he no longer needs to abide by the rules of dungeon diving like everyone else. Follow Rin's journey to become the strongest adventurer in the world at the fastest speed possible. Also 50% off, and the idea is there's a rule where they can only do a dungeon like once a week, and then the teleportation kind of helps him get past that. I hope that wasn't too much of a spoiler. I also went to this place, I don't know, it just was kind of like half bookstore, half like hangout space. And they had two comics that I picked up. Alan Moore's Writing for Comics. Oh, volume 1, that means there's more than one. Yeah. Here's a quote. Alan Moore was one of the first comics authors to write extensively and intelligently about the underpinnings of the craft. I know people who've been waiting 15 years to see this reprinted. It goes right next to Eisner and McCloud on the smart reader's shelf. That's a quote by Warren Ellis, creator of The Authority and Scars. I haven't read those. Okay. Alan Moore, the creator of Watchmen, Miracle Man, and more, shares his thoughts on the craft of writing comics. The main essay was originally written in 1985 from an obscure British fanzine, just as Moore was reshaping the landscape of modern comics. Now, Avatar brings it back in print and collected for the first time as one graphic novel and heavily illustrated by Jason Burrows. Alan Moore also provided a brand new essay on how his thoughts on writing have changed in the 2 decades since he first wrote it. For fans of Moore's work, new writers, or anyone interested in comics, this book is an indispensable and fascinating peek in the thoughts of one of the masters of comic book writing. Yeah, this, I kind of like to draw little comics, and you know, mine don't have a plot. They're kind of like one-off little, like, or informative stuff. The other one I got from there is Understanding Rhetoric, a graphic guide to writing. You can see the cover. There's no back thingy. That sucks. And it looks, no, that doesn't have anything either. So it's kind of a, let's see here, introduction, spaces for writing, issue 1, why rhetoric, issue 2, strategic reading, issue 3, writing identities, Issue 4, Argument Beyond Pro and Con. Issue 5, Research More Than Detective Work. Issue 6, Rethinking Revisions. Issue 7, Going Public. Yeah, and this one's also a graphic novel-y type thing. I like to read little comics. So this was something I haven't even opened yet from Thrift Books. I think because I got like a gift card somehow, I forget how, and I decided I'm gonna buy used books with that gift card. So I did. No noise. Okay, let's see. I don't entirely remember what I got, so it's a little surprise. Let's see. First one. Oh, what's this? There's like a little look inside for special offers. Hello Fresh, DoorDash. What? Chewy? Okay, I don't understand that. I guess that's how they make some extra money. So this one, meaning to read forever. Walden and Other Writings, Henry Dave Thoreau. Barnes & Noble's Classics. I'm sure, hopefully people have heard of this one. Here's a quote. No truer American existed than Thoreau, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The quintessential back-to-nature book, Walden is an account of Thoreau's attempt to find a spiritual awakening by returning to a simple life in the Massachusetts woodlands. Thoreau rediscovers the beauty of the natural world, but also skims off the lessons of nature. He draws inspiration from the songs of the wood thrust and gains life lessons from the creatures he watches, such as the lowly that emerges from its cocoon of resplendent butterfly. But spiritual sojourner also struggles to integrate his animal instincts with his higher instincts. Though he can experience himself as a simple part of the growth cycle as he tends his bean field, he also recognizes his need for intellectual and spiritual fulfillment. Thoreau's rejection of the values of the then burgeoning Industrial Revolution still reverberates for contemporary readers. His quest for something deeper and more meaningful than materialism created a work that gave form to some of man's deepest yearnings. There's a word before that, and I'm not even gonna try. I'm just not even gonna try that. Written with poetry and fire, Walden remains one of literature's greatest roadmaps to the divine. Should have read this forever ago, but yeah. I read Walden 2, which was by B.F. Skinner. It was like this utopia type thing. I enjoyed it. There was no conflict in it, so I was very confused. I kept reading, waiting for conflict, but it was more just a kind of a view of like, this is a possible utopia. Let me drink my water. Hydration is important. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. This one, these are all used books, or the ones in the thrift book package are used. So it looks like someone already bookmarked a lot of this. Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, with a foreword by Mary Gordon. The landmark inquiry into women's role in society by one of the 20th century's greatest thinkers. In A Room of One's Own, Virginia Woolf imagines that Shakespeare had a sister equal to Shakespeare's in talent and equal in genius, but whose legacy is radically different. This imaginary woman never writes a word and dies by her own hand, her genius unexpressed. If only she had found the means to create, argues Woolf, she would have reached the same heights as her immortal sibling. In this classic essay, Virginia Woolf takes on the establishment, using her gift of language to dissect the world around her and give voice to those who are without. Her message is a simple one. Women must have some money and a room of their own in order to have the freedom to create. There's a quote. Woolf speaks with as much fancy as logic, as much wit as knowledge, and with the imagination of a true novelist. Quote from the New York Times. Virginia Woolf, 1882 to 1941, one of the major literary figures of the 20th century, transformed the art of the novel with such groundbreaking works as Miss Dalloway and To the Lighthouse. The author of numerous collections of letters, journals, and short stories, she was an admired literary admired literary critic and a master of the essay form. A Room of One's Own was first published in 1929. Mary Gordon is the author of Spending, The Company of Women, and Final Payments. And Mary Gordon does the foreword. So it looks like somebody... Oh, this is kind of neat. Seeing someone else's... Oh my. Yeah. They, that should be interesting. Maybe that could be an entire, like, thing where, like, you purposely send people books you've annotated. Let me see. I believe I know what this one. Yes. And there's some notes in here too. Bookmarks. So John Green's Essays on a Human-Centered Planet. The Anthropocene Review. Yeah, can't pronounce. And the Anthropocene. Yeah. There are no disinterested observers. There are only participants. The Anthropocene is the current geologic age in which humans have profoundly reshaped the planet and its biodiversity. In this remarkable symphony of essays adapted and expanded from his groundbreaking podcast, I didn't know there was a podcast, best-selling author John Green reviews different facets of the human-centered planet on a 5-star scale, from the QWERTY keyboard and sunsets to Canada geese and the penguins of Madagascar. Funny, complex, and rich with detail, the reviews chart the contradictions of contemporary humanity. As a species, we're both far too powerful and not nearly powerful enough. A paradox that came into sharp focus as we faced a global pandemic that both separated us and bound us together. John Green's gift for storytelling shines throughout this masterful collection. The can I pronounce it? Open-hearted exploration of the past we forged and an unironic celebration of falling in love with the world. Okay. Oh, this is a large print version. I didn't realize that. I'm really blind, so large print is good. Large print is good. I can read normal font because the other guys are normal font, but large print doesn't hurt. Maybe I should look into that kind of stuff. But yeah, those are all the books I got. Yeah, that's my little book haul. Thank you for watching. Bye.